She cheated with my friends, said she needed a real man. I smiled, left without a word this morning. 32 missed calls from all of them. Hair race, why they're all panicking now. I need to get this off my chest while it's still fresh. What I did might make me the villain in their story, but I'm perfectly fine with that. 3 weeks ago I 28M discovered my girlfriend of 3 years was effing not one not two but three of my closest friends. The kicker, they'd been running this circus for 8 months, 8 effing months of group texts, coordinated lies, and me being the oblivious idiot funding her lifestyle while she used my condo as her personal brothel. I found out because Anastasia got sloppy. See, when you're a network security analyst you notice patterns, little things. Her phone facing down constantly, sudden girls' nights that lined up with the boys being busy, the way Sterling would avoid eye contact during our poker nights, how Dimitri stopped inviting me to morning workouts, Constantine suddenly having oil field emergencies every time Anastasia had client meetings. The confirmation came when she left her laptop open on my dining table. She'd gone to shower after another exhausting day showing houses. I wasn't snooping, I was actually going to close it for her, but there it was, her messages app synced and open to a group chat titled Fire Emojis. I'm not going to describe what I saw, use your imagination and multiply it by 10 videos. Detailed planning jokes about me, Sterling calling me a walking ATM, Dimitri saying I was too soft to ever figure it out, Constantine betting on how long they could keep it going, and Anastasia, she was the ringleader, rating their performances, scheduling their meetups around my work trips. 8 months, 243 days of betrayal wrapped in smiles and love you babe texts. I sat at that table for an hour screenshotting everything to my encrypted drive, every message, every video, every photo. My hands weren't shaking, I wasn't crying, I was calculating. When she came out of the shower, hair wrapped in my towel, wearing my robe, she found me sitting exactly where she'd left me, laptop closed, drinking my scotch. Hey babe, you okay? She asked, kissing my cheek. The audacity, perfect, I said, just thinking about some changes I need to make. She laughed, always planning something, that's why I love you. No, that's why she used me, but she'd learned the difference soon enough. The next 3 days I played the part perfectly, went to work, came home, kissed her goodbye when she left for her appointments, even had dinner with Sterling and his wife, watched him squirm when I mentioned how lucky we both were to have such faithful partners. But while I was playing normal, I was building my KC. Anastasia made 2 critical errors. First, she synced her devices to my network, the one I built, monitored and controlled. Second, she underestimated what a motivated man with cybersecurity skills and nothing left to lose could accomplish. I recovered everything, deleted texts, photos from their fun nights at my place when I was traveling for work, even the videos they thought were gone forever. Sterling's marriage, Dimitri's engagement, Constantine's relationship, Anastasia's reputation, they were all built on foundations of sand, and I was about to become the tide. The confrontation came on Thursday. I told her I was working late, but I came home to find her getting ready for another meetup. Red dress, the perfume I bought her for our anniversary, she was humming while putting on the lingerie set I'd given her for her birthday. Going somewhere, I asked. From the doorway she jumped, then recovered with a smile. Client dinner, you know how it has got to look professional. Professional, I repeated. That's interesting. Is Sterling going to be at this client dinner, or is it Dimitri's turn tonight? The way her face changed was almost artistic, from fake surprise to confusion to realization to fear, all in about 3 seconds. I don't know what you're talking about, she started, but I cut her off. Thursday is Constantine's night, actually. Suite 1247 at the Hyatt. Or did you switch the schedule this week? She tried, tears first, then anger, then bargaining, the whole playbook. When none of it worked, when she realized I wasn't yelling or crying or begging, she switched tactics. Fine, she said, dropping the act entirely. You want the truth? They're real men, they take what they want, they don't spend their nights playing with computers and acting like some white knight. You're boring, you're predictable, she looked me up and down. Safe and safety doesn't make me what? I smiled, actually smiled. You're right, I am safe, that's why you felt comfortable using my place, my money, my life as your personal playground. But hey race, what you miss, safe doesn't mean weak, it means calculated, it means patient, it means when I do act it's decisive. She laughed. What are you going to do, cry to them? They already know. We laughed about how you'd probably just sulk and take me back like the good little provider you were. No, I said, finishing my drink, I'm going to destroy all of you systematically, thoroughly, and am going to enjoy every second of it. She called my bluff. You don't have the balls, watch me. I walked out of my own condo that night and checked into a hotel, blocked her number, changed my locks remotely, smart home benefits, and began phase 2. The planning took a week, not because I needed that long, I had everything within 48 hours, but revenge, real revenge, is about timing, it's about precision, it's about making sure when you strike there's no recovery. First, I created individual doses. Sterling's wife got a package with everything, screenshots, photos, videos, even the credit card records showing hotel charges. I included a timeline showing how many times he'd left Anastasia while his wife was home with their kids. Dimitri's fiancé received hers at work. I made sure to include the messages where he bragged about doing it in their bed, in their shower, on their kitchen counter. The engagement ended that day. Constantine's girlfriend of 6 years got the full documentary treatment. See, Constantine was stupid enough to film everything on his work phone, the same phone his company's IT department could access. Guess who tipped them off about inappropriate use of company property? But that was just the appetizer. The main course came the following Friday. I organized a boys' night at a sports bar in Kensington, invited everyone, not just them but our entire extended friend group, including some of the guys they'd left over in business, relationships, or life, about 30 people total. They showed up cocky. Sterling even had the nerve to pat me on the back and ask if I was doing okay with everything. Dimitri offered to spot me at the gym to blow off some steam. Constantine bought the first round and made a toast to brotherhood. I waited until the second period of the Flames game. Everyone was relaxed, drinking, joking. That's when I stood up, tapped my glass, and asked the bartender to switch the main screen to the laptop I brought. Gentlemen, I said loud enough for the whole section to hear. I wanted to thank you all for coming out tonight, especially Sterling, Dimitri, and Constantine. They've taught me a valuable lesson about friendship, and I wanted to share that lesson with all of you. The video started playing before anyone could react. Crystal clear surround sound, all 3 of them, with Anastasia talking about me, laughing about me, planning their next moves. I'd edited it for maximum impact. Every cruel comment, every betrayal, every moment that showed exactly who they were. The bar Went dead silent except for the audio from the video. That's fake. Sterling started stammering. Sit the F down, I said, and something in my voice made him comply. The video ran for 12 minutes of destruction. When it ended I closed the laptop and addressed the room. Every man here has been affected by at least one of these pieces of Sterling effed your girlfriend in college. Brady Dimitri stole your business idea and opened his gym. Ravi Constantine threw you under the bus for that. Safety violation. Hang, and they all left my girlfriend for 8 months in my bed while drinking my whiskey and spending my money. The room erupted. Not at me, at them. 30 drunk PSD off men who just realized they were sitting next to 3 guys who'd screwed them over and laughed about it. I didn't stay for the aftermath. ID done what I came to do. As I walked out I could hear Sterling trying to explain to someone's fist why it wasn't what it looked like, but I wasn't done. See, while they were getting their asses handed to them in that bar, phase 3 was executing every contact in their phones. Received a link to a website. ID created nothing illegal, just a simple site with the truth, videos, messages, timelines, all of it. Sterling's insurance clients, Dimitri's gym members, Constantine's LinkedIn network. Everyone got to see exactly who they really were. By morning the damage was irreversible. Sterling's wife had changed the locks and served him papers. His brokerage fired him for conduct unbecoming. Turns out insurance is built on trust, and nobody trusts a man who betrays his friends. Dimitri's gym lost 60 of its members in a week. His business partners bought him out for pennies on the dollar. His Instagram sponsorships gone. His fiancée not only left him but posted her own story adding details I hadn't even known about. Constantine's girlfriend took everything in the split. Last I heard he was working construction in Fort Mac, living in a work camp in Anastasia. Well, real estate is all about reputation and networking. When every realtor in Calgary knows you're the woman who F3 men behind her boyfriend's back, when your face is associated with the city's messiest scandal, when your own agency drops you for bringing disrepute to the profession. Let's just say her glamorous lifestyle ended real quick. The call started the next morning. 32 missed calls by noon. Texts begging me to take down the site. Voicemails threatening legal action, then pleading for mercy, then back to threats. I responded to exactly one text, a group message to all 4 of them. You had 8 months of fun at my expense. I only needed 2 weeks to end all of you. The site stays up for 8 months. Consider it interest on your loan. Don't contact me again. They tried. Of course, Sterling showed up at my office building. Security escorted him out. Dimitri attempted to confront me at my new gym. The owner who'd heard the story told him he was banned. Constantine sent his brother to talk sense into me. His brother left after I showed him some other videos Constantine had made featuring his brother's wife. Anastasia was the most persistent. She went from threats to tears to seduction to SCD threats. I documented everything and sent it to the police. The restraining order was approved within days. It's been 3 weeks now. The site's still up. The view counter keeps climbing. Their lives keep spiraling, and me am better than I've been in years. I sleep like a baby in my condo, the one I had professionally cleaned and redecorated, and dating again cautiously but confidently. My real friends, the ones who had my back when this exploded, are closer than ever. My career is thriving. Turns out exposing snakes is great for a security analyst reputation. Do I feel bad? No, they made choices. I just made sure those choices had consequences. They thought I was weak because I was stable. They thought I was soft because I didn't start fights. They thought I was a mark because I trusted them. They were wrong. I'm not weak. I'm patient. I'm not soft. I'm calculated. I'm not a mark. I'm effing predator who was content to live peacefully until they woke me up. The best part, this is all legal. Everything I shared was true. Every video was taken with consent. They gave it to each other, not thinking about where it might end up. Every message was real. Every consequence was earned. They played stupid games. They won stupid prizes, and I'm the one handing out the trophies. Update coming soon. This isn't over. Update 1 3 days later. Well, this blew up more than expected, but not as much as their lives continue to. Let me address some comments first. To those calling this fake, I have receipts, literal receipts, but I'm not doxing myself to prove anything. To Reddit, to those saying I went too far, they have around for 8 months. They found out in 2 weeks. That's a discount in my book. To those asking why I didn't just walk away, because walking away lets them do it again to someone else. Cancer needs to be cut out, not ignored. Now for the update. Sterling's situation. Remember how I mentioned Sterling's wife was pregnant with their 3rd kid? Well, she's not anymore. The stress caused complications. She lost the baby last week. Before you blame me, blame the man who was raw dogging another woman while his wife was home with morning sickness. Sterling tried to spin this as my fault in a Facebook post. Big mistake. His wife's sister, a lawyer, responded with screenshots of the divorce filing, including the parts about STD testing. Yeah, that's a thing now in forensic accounting. Turns out he was spending family money on hotels and gifts. His professional life is equally F. The Alberta Insurance Council received multiple complaints about his ethical violations. His license is under review even if he keeps it. No firm will touch him. One recruiter told me Sterling applied for a position and they literally laughed during the partners meeting. He's living in his parents' basement at 31. His mom called me to ask if I'd consider taking down the website so her son could rebuild his life. I told her to ask him why he didn't consider his family while he was destroying his life. She hung up crying. Dimitri's downfall. This one's almost poetic. Dimitri's entire identity was built around being this alpha fitness guru, Mr. Motivation, Mr. Discipline, Mr. Your body is a temple. Well, temples can burn down. His gym officially closed yesterday. The final membership count was 12 people, down from over 200. His business partners didn't just buy him out, they're suing him for damaging the brand. Turns out having your SX tapes playing in a sports bar in front of half of Calgary's fitness community is bad for business. But hey, race, the beautiful part, his fiancée didn't just leave him, she started dating his former business partner, the same guy who now owns the gym. She's been posting workout videos from there, wearing her engagement ring from the new guy in the same spots where Dimitri used to film his content. He tried to start over with online coaching, posted a comeback video about learning from mistakes and growing through adversity. The comments section turned into a roast. My personal favorite: the only thing you grew was your body count behind your fiancé's back. Last I heard, he was working as a personal trainer at a big box gym in Red Deer. Might he fall for someone who used to call himself Calgary's premium fitness experience? Constantine's catastrophe. Of the three, Constantine fell the hardest and fastest. Oil and gas is an unforgiving industry when it comes to reputation. He went from making $150,000 plus to begging for labor jobs. But that's not the best part. Remember how I mentioned he filmed everything on his company phone? Well, it found more than just videos of Anastasia. They found evidence. Had been falsifying safety reports, skimming from project budgets, and selling insider information to competitors. The criminal investigation is ongoing. His lawyer, public defender he can't afford private, reached out asking if I'd testify on his behalf. Say this was all a misunderstanding that got blown out of proportion. I sent back one word no. His ex-girlfriend is thriving though. Turns out she'd suspected something for months, but had no proof. My reveal gave her the ammunition she needed. She got the house, the truck, and most importantly the dog. She sent me a thank you card with a picture of her and the dog on a beach in Mexico. The caption, living our best life without the deadweight. Anastasia's apocalypse. This is where it gets interesting. Anastasia tried to rebrand herself as a victim, started a TikTok about surviving narcissistic abuse and reclaiming her power. The internet is undefeated, folks. Someone found my website and linked it in her comments. Her victim narrative crashed harder than crypto in 2022. She pivoted to OnlyFans. I'm not judging SX work. Get your money however you can, but she marketed it to see what Calgary's most infamous woman can do. Problem is everyone had already seen it for free. The subscriber count peaked at 47. Her income for the first month was $236. The real estate board officially revoked her license last week. Something about conduct bringing the profession into disrepute and violation of the code of ethics. She can reapply in 5 years in this market. That's a death sentence. She moved back with her parents in medicine. Had a source. Her former best friend who reached out to me said she's working at a call center, the same job she had before meeting me, the same job she used to mock for being beneath her. The legal threats, oh boy, this is funny. All four of them pulled money. What little they have to hire a lawyer to sue me for defamation, emotional distress, and revenge. PN their lawyer sent a cease and desist. My lawyer, yes, I retained one immediately. Am not stupid, responded with a simple letter. Truth is an absolute defense against defamation. They caused their own emotional distress. Canada's revenge PN laws require the distribution to be without consent. They consented to each other recording. The fact they were stupid about where those recordings ended up isn't my problem. Any further contact would be considered harassment given the restraining orders in place. They dropped it, probably because their lawyer told them they'd lose and owe my legal fees. The unexpected fallout. Hey race, what I didn't expect. The ripple effect. Sterling's brother reached out me. Turns out Sterling had been borrowing money from family members for years, claiming financial hardship while spending it on his affairs. The revelation explained where the money went. Dimitri's ex-fiance's story inspired 3 other women to come forward about him. He wasn't just cheating with Anastasia, the man had a rotation. One woman was 17 when he was 24. That's being investigated now. Constantine's former co-workers started connecting dots. Several safety incidents over the years suddenly made sense. Had been covering up his incompetence with falsified reports for years. The current investigation might lead to criminal charges for negligence. Anastasia's Instagram DMs, screenshots sent by multiple people, revealed she'd done this before. 3 other ex-boyfriends came forward with similar stories. She had a pattern: find a stable guy, milk him for resources, keep a roster of exciting men on the side, and gaslight when caught. The personal update now about me. I'm thriving, not in a petty look at me now way, but genuinely doing well. I started therapy not because I'm struggling but because I want to understand how I missed the signs for so long. My therapist says I didn't miss them, I just trusted people who didn't deserve it. That's not a flaw in me, it's a flaw in them. Work offered me a promotion. Turns out handling a personal crisis with this level of strategic thinking impressed the higher-ups. And now leading the cybersecurity division with a 40 pay increase. In dating casually, nothing serious yet, but I've been transparent about my past with anyone I see more than twice. Most appreciate the honesty. One woman said anyone who can plan revenge that thoroughly can probably plan HL of a vacation. She's not wrong. The condo feels like mine again. I renovated the bedroom completely new, everything, donated their belongings to charity. After checking for anything incriminating, of course the place is good energy now. The recent developments this week brought new entertainment. Sterling's wife filed a civil suit against Anastasia for alienation of affection. It's rarely used, but her lawyer thinks they have a case given the evidence. Anastasia can't afford a lawyer, so she's representing herself. This should be amusing. Dimitri got arrested not for the underage thing yet, but for assault. He confronted one of the guys from the bar night in a grocery store, threw a punch, missed, got his sauce beat again. The security footage is chef's kiss. Constantine's mom called me crying, begging me to help her son. I almost felt bad until she said he's a good boy who made one mistake. 8 months isn't one mistake, it's 240 plus decisions to betray a friend. I told her to use this as a lesson about raising her next son better. Anastasia sent a letter through her lawyer offering to tell her side of the story. If I take down the website, she wants to do a tell-all interview where she can share her truth. I responded by adding a visitor counter to the website. It's at 47,000 views and climbing. The lessons learned: when someone shows you who they are, believe them. All 4 showed red flags. I ignored success is the best revenge, but orchestrated consequences are a close second. Document everything you never know when you'll need it. Real friends celebrate your strategic thinking, fake friends fear it. There's a difference between being peaceful and being harmless. I chose peace. I was at a coffee shop when someone tapped my shoulder. I turned around. It was one of Sterling's victims, an elderly man who'd lost his retirement savings. He didn't want money, didn't want revenge, he just wanted to shake my hand. You gave me closure, he said. For 5 years I blamed myself, thought I was stupid for trusting him. Now I know I wasn't stupid, I was targeted by a predator. That's different. We talked for an hour. He's 78, living with his daughter, now picking up part-time work to make ends meet because of Sterling hell never retire. I put him in touch with the documentary team. His story needs to be heard. The unexpected visitor 3 nights ago at 2 a.m. My doorbell rang. Security cameras showed a woman I didn't recognize crying, shaking, clearly distressed. I called down through the intercom. Can I help you? Are you the one who exposed Dimitri? I confirmed. She broke down completely. She was victim number 813 when it started, 15 when it ended. Never told anyone until she saw the news. Shed driven 3 hours from Red Deer to find me. I called the police for her with her permission, got her in touch with victim services, stayed with her until her parents arrived. Her dad hugged me and couldn't speak through the tears. She's 19 now, in university, was struggling with the trauma until she saw Dimitri exposed. You made me feel like I could speak up, she said, like people would believe me. They did. Her testimony will likely be the nail in his coffin. The system works sometimes. Constantine's accounts were frozen. By federal order they found another $250,000 in cryptocurrency had hidden well, tried to hide, forgot that blockchain is public and I know how to read it, sent that information to the RCMP. They were impressed, offered me a job, actually might consider it after this all dies down. Sterling's Ponzi scheme unraveled completely. 147 victims identified so far. Some lost their life savings, others lost their homes. He destroyed retirement's futures, dreams, all for his lifestyle. The forensic accountants traced some of the money to Anastasia, jewelry, trips, dinners, all funded by stolen retirement savings. She claimed she didn't know. The prosecutor showed her texts asking Sterling to work his magic to fund their next vacation. Knowledge is complicity in fraud cases, she said. The personal progress. I accepted the job offer from Dimitri's ex's new man starting next month as VP of security for the fitness empire. My girlfriend jokes I'm protecting people from getting screwed in every possible way. We're moving in together. Found a penthouse downtown, new building, no memories, fresh start. She's already planning the security system and planning the kitchen. Turns out revenge makes you appreciate the simple pleasures of domestic life. My book deal was finalized, 6-figure advance. The publisher wants to market it as the digital age art of war. I prefer my title document, Everything a Survivor's Guide. The therapy continues, not because I need it but because I value it. My therapist says I've shown remarkable emotional regulation throughout an extraordinarily triggering situation. I told her it wasn't hard, I just channeled every emotion into productive action. That's the point, she said. Most people can't do that. The final countdown, 3 months left on the website. Timer, daily views holding steady at 10K. The comments section, yes, I added one, is a support group for betrayal victims, heavily moderated but powerful. The 4 snakes have gone silent. No more legal threats, no more contact attempts. They're too busy fighting criminal charges to worry about a website, but I know they still check it. The analytics show the same 4 IP addresses every single day, multiple times. They're watching their destruction on repeat, unable to look away. The philosophical finale for this update. Someone asked if I've forgiven them. Hey race, my answer: forgiveness isn't mine to give them, not their priest, their parent, or their God. They need forgiveness from their victims, their families, themselves. What I gave them was accountability. What I gave their victims was validation. What I gave myself was freedom. They took 8 months of my life, I took the rest of theirs, not through violence or illegal action but through the simple act of refusing to keep their secrets. They called me safe like it was an insult, but safes protect what's valuable, and what's more valuable than truth. The next update will be the last before the website timer expires. 3 months to go. Based on the current trajectory, at least 2 will be in by then, and me'll be living my life protected, documented, and free. The snakes can watch from their cages. Final update 1 month later. 7 months since D-Day. This is it, the final update before the website timer hits 0 next month. 7 months since I discovered the betrayal. 7 months since my world exploded. 7 months since I decided to return the favor. Let me tell you where everyone ended up. Constantine, federal prisoner number 78432. Constantine plead guilty to everything, had no choice. They had him dead to rights. 15 years federal time, no parole. 7. He's in maximum security because of the organized crime connections. His first week inside, someone recognized him from the news. Let's just say Constantine learned what it feels like to be truly powerless. He's in protective custody now, the kind reserved for snitches and child predators. Even among criminals, he's reviled. His mother sent me one last letter, not asking for forgiveness or mercy, just saying thank you for stopping him before he got someone KLD with his falsified safety reports. Turns out Shed suspected something was wrong for years but loved him too much to look closer. You did what I couldn't, she wrote. You held him accountable. Dimitri, convicted predator. The trial was a massacre. 12 victims testified. The youngest was 12 when he started grooming her. 12. The jury deliberated for less than an hour. 25 years, eligible for parole in 15 sex offender registry for life. During sentencing, he tried to make a statement about being misunderstood and caught up in consensual relationships. The judge cut him off. Mr. Dimitri, you systematically preyed on children. You used your position, your physique, and your charm to destroy innocence. The only misunderstanding here is that you thought you'd never face consequences. He cried like the child had never allowed his victims to be. His family downed him completely. His brother publicly apologized to all victims and donated $100,000 to a charity supporting abuse survivors. It's not enough, he said at the press conference, but it's a start. Sterling, broken man, broken dreams. Sterling's trial is next month, but his lawyer convinced him to plead guilty. The evidence is overwhelming. He's looking at 12 to 15 years for the Ponzi scheme alone. Add the fraud, embezzlement, and witness tampering, could be 20 plus, but prison might be a mercy compared to his current situation. Living in his car, broken. Calgary winters don't play. He got frostbite in both feet, lost 3 toes, spent a month in the hospital chained to the bed because he's a flight risk. His wife remarried last week to his former best friend from high school. The wedding photos were beautiful. Their kids look happy. Sterling saw them on Facebook from his hospital bed and had a complete breakdown. He wrote me a letter, 6 pages of rambling, blaming everyone but himself. The last line, though I had everything and threw it away for nothing. At least he finally gets it. Anastasia, the fallen queen. Anastasia fought every charge, denied everything, claimed she was manipulated, coerced, victimized. The prosecution's response was devastating. They played her own videos in court, her laughing about stupid boyfriends, her bragging about manipulation, her coaching the others on how to lie better, guilty on all counts, fraud, theft, conspiracy, and the cherry on top, tax evasion. Turns out she never reported any of the money she stole. 12 years, no parole for 6. The sentencing was poetic. She showed up in designer clothes, borrowed full makeup, playing the victim until the end. The judge wasn't impressed. Miss Anastasia, you've shown no remorse, taken no responsibility, and learned nothing. You viewed people as ATMs and relationships as transactions. Now you'll have 12 years to reflect on the cost of that worldview. She screamed that it wasn't fair that she was being persecuted for being a woman. The baifs had to drag her out. Her parents were in the gallery. They didn't even look at her. The documentary Aftermath: 4 Snakes, a digital age betrayal, premiered on Netflix last month. #1 in 47 countries, 98 on Rotten Tomatoes, already won 3 awards. The victim's stories were the heart of it. Sterling's elderly victim talking about working at 78 because of lost retirement. Konstantin's co-worker's widow explaining how her husband's death might have been prevented with proper safety reports. Dimitri's youngest victim face obscured, voice modified, saying she thought it was her fault for 5 years and threw it all my evidence, every screenshot, every video, every documented moment of their cruelty. The documentary ended with a simple message: document everything, protect yourself. The person you trust most might be the one who destroys you. Netflix donated all profits to victims of fraud and abuse, over 2 million so far. The website's final month, 7 months down, 1 to go. Total views 23 million, translated into 23 languages, cited in 14 academic papers, used as evidence in dozens of similar cases worldwide. But hey, race, the beautiful part, the comments section became a healing space. Thousands of betrayal victims sharing stories, supporting each other, rebuilding together. It stopped being about revenge and became about recovery. Next month, when the timer hits 0, the site will redirect to the Phoenix Foundation, a charity I'm establishing with the book proceeds and consulting profits, supporting victims of betrayal, fraud, and abuse, helping them document, protect, and rebuild. The 4 Snakes destruction will fund healing for others. Their darkness will become someone else's light. Personal victory lap. I'm engaged, proposed last week at the spot where I first told her the whole story. She said yes before I even finished asking. Of course, she said, you're the safest investment I've ever made. We're getting married next summer. Small ceremony, real friends only, the kind who'd never betrayed trust for temporary pleasure. My new job is incredible. We've implemented security protocols that have prevented 3 internal fraud attempts already. Turns out protecting people from snakes is my calling. The book comes out next month. Pre-orders already topped 100K. The publisher wants a sequel. I told them this story only needed one ending. Therapy wrapped up last month. My therapist's final assessment: you turn trauma into triumph through strategic action and emotional control. You didn't let them break you. No, I corrected. They made me unbreakable. The unexpected encounters. Last week I ran into Konstantin's ex at a charity event. She's radiant. Started her own company with the assets she got in the split, already more successful than Konstantin ever was. Thank you, she said, not for destroying him, he did that himself, but for showing me I deserved better. Dimitri's ex-fiancée and her new husband sent a wedding invitation. I couldn't attend documentary filming but sent a gift. They sent back a photo from their honeymoon with a note: living our best life with someone trustworthy. Sterling's ex-wife reached out about the Phoenix Foundation, wants to be on the board. I live this nightmare, she said. I want to help others wake up from theirs. The universe's final gift. Remember how this started? Anastasia telling me I was boring, safe, that I wasn't a real man. Last week a prison contact documentary connection shared something. Anastasia's cellmate is a woman convicted of assault. Apparently Anastasia tried her manipulation tactics, tried to run the same games. The cellmate's response: girl, I've seen your documentary, you ain't manipulating SHT in here except your commissary order. Anastasia spends her days alone, avoided by other inmates who know her story. No one to manipulate, no one to control, no one to believe her lies. She's finally as alone as she made others feel. The numbers game. Let's talk impact. 4 snakes removed from society, 62 years combined sentences, 147 Ponzi scheme victims getting partial restitution from seized assets, 12 sexual assault survivors finding justice, 1 company saved from catastrophic safety failures, 32 million in fraud prevented by security protocols. I developed 23 million website views, spreading awareness, 1 documentary changing conversations about betrayal, countless victims finding validation and support, all from one man refusing to crumble when told he wasn't enough. The final message to the snakes: I know you're reading this even from prison, you're finding ways the analytics don't lie, so erase my final message. Sterling, you wanted to be rich, now you're rich in consequences. Dimitri, you wanted to dominate, now you're dominated by a system that doesn't care about your abs. Konstantin, you wanted to be clever. Turns out clever doesn't mean smart. Anastasia, you wanted real men, now you're surrounded by real women who see through your SHT. You called me safe like it was an insult, but safes protect what's valuable, and what's more valuable than truth? You gave me 8 months of deception, I gave you decades of accountability. I'd say we're even, but we both know I came out ahead. The actual final thoughts to everyone who followed this journey: thank you. Your support, advice, and shared experiences made this more than just revenge. It became a movement to those dealing with betrayal. Document everything, trust your gut, don't accept less than you deserve, and when the time comes, don't be afraid to burn it all down legally, strategically, thoroughly. To future snakes thinking about betraying trust, this is your warning. The digital age doesn't forget. Your victims don't have to forgive, and somewhere out there is someone like me, patient, calculated, and waiting for you to slip. 1 month left on the timer. When it hits 0 poses, but the impact that's permanent. They thought I was harmless because I chose peace. They thought I was weak because I trusted completely. They thought I was a mark because I loved genuinely. They were wrong about everything except one thing: I was safe like a sleeping volcano, dormant, not dead. And when they woke me up, I erupted. The lava has cooled, the landscape is forever changed, and I'm standing on the mountain I built from their ashes, looking forward to a future they'll never see. 8 months of deception.